Hey YouTube. Well, I wanted to do this video because the British always make fun of the size of an engine and how much horsepower it makes. Um, because, or at least their um, media presenters always do. They always say, oh, my little 2 litre makes 250 horsepower and dirty, dirty, dirt. Well, and then they'll go on and say, oh, American cars are rubbish because their engines are so much larger and don't make huge horsepower. Now, the reason why I'm showing you my car is because you're looking at an American engine there, all right? That's a six litre V8. That makes 360 to 365 horsepower, all right? So you might say, well, that's a big motor and doesn't make a lot of horsepower. But what you'll see about this motor is basically there are no additional features that make this have a stupid amount of horsepower. There are no superchargers. It's just a standard airbox, standard exhaust, standard brake package. Everything about this car is built for reliability. That's basically the difference between American engineering. So basically this car has the 6 litre LS2 version, but the Australians detuned it because I don't know why. I think at the time the Camaro had the same engine and they didn't want it to have the same amount of horsepower as the Camaro, so they altered it a little bit because this was being sold in America as a Pontiac G8. So basically they didn't want Pontiac to have a more powerful engine, so they basically just tweaked the computer a little bit to have a little less horsepower. It has a C4 gearbox in it, which is pretty standard for so the 6-speed C4 gearbox. I'm pretty sure that's what's in this car. And yeah, so why do Americans not build their giant engines to have a lot of horsepower? Well, the simple fact is they're road cars and they're built to fit within cost parameters, whereas Euro cars don't seem to. Seems that Europeans have way more money than the rest of the world and spend a lot more on cars than they ever need to. But yeah, so they tend to, build these really over-engineered cars that aren't really designed to last. They're designed to, last about 5 years and then fall apart, and then cost you about $20,000 to fix it. All right, so that's basically the reasoning behind American engineering, and Australian engineering isn't much different. We sort of copied the Americans as to what we thought was important in a car. This particular car, they did try to compete with the Europeans. I don't know why. We always just said Australian cars should be built for Australians. That's why this company went down the toilet, was because so Holden went down. It's because they were building their cars not towards their market. They were building it towards a market they didn't have a stake in, or people only knew them as Vauxhall. So Vauxhall didn't have one of those brand names where you go, oh, I want to go and buy a family car from Vauxhall. I want to buy, a commercial truck or something like that. So that's basically where Holden went wrong, is they were trying to sell cars to their wrong market, and that's where they failed. There's nothing wrong with this car. That's why I own it. That's why I like it. It's a very robust engine. There's probably no amount of driving that I can do that's really going to stress this engine out. This engine is designed to last. That is the difference between it's not being supercharged. It's not being pushed to all the components are not being pushed to their tolerance limit. It's just built to do a job, and that is it is to go, it is to be quick, but it's not to be like, it's still a road car. It still has a road car chassis, road car suspension, road car brakes. That's it. It's got 5 seats, so you can take people around the place in it. That's what it's designed to do, and that's where whenever these people that talk about British cars being like this, this pinnacle of, or European cars being this pinnacle of engineering, it's not, okay? Because basically their cars don't last. They're not designed to handle salt water. They're not designed to handle long distances. They're basically just designed to, yeah, they're designed to work for about 5 to 10 years max, and then have serious problems after that. Um, and also to cost you more money than it's worth to actually repair. See, that's the trouble with this world today. Everything is designed to basically to basically you don't repair it, you just replace it, like a phone or well, a computer or a a power tool, anything like that. Cars are no different. That's how they design cars, because they want you spending money. They don't want you repairing a car that you might like. You might go, oh, I really like this VW Golf, but to repair it's going to cost me more than the car's worth, so I'll just get another Golf and spend another $25,000-$30,000 on that, instead of just going, I'll just get this one fixed for, you know, not the same amount of money. But the value, you can't resell the car for less than the repair bill, so that's basically how they get you. This car was built for Australians, so the Australian concept is that cars are designed to last. So that's why I like this car, and that's why I'll keep this car. And even if it has major problems in the future, I will just get them fixed. So, yeah. Also because it's one of the last... they did make a lot of these cars, but it is, because Holden went defunct, it is one of the last Holden V8s, and Holden and Ford V8s are worth a lot of money in Australia, because they only made them in limited production, so there was a lot more six-cylinders sold than V8s, so that's why this car will be worth, in 25, 30 years' time, it could be worth, like, a lot more than what I paid for it. But that's only going to depend on whether or not there's enough cars on the road. So they built a lot of these cars, and I do mean a lot. So it's not like there isn't a high supply of them. So yeah, that's my video. Peace.